Maker. It is Claire from Claire Makery, and today I will be teaching you how to tapestry crochet with my Cactus coaster. So if you are unfamiliar with tapestry crochet is when you create a picture with your yarn by crocheting, where you switch colors. It's also known as color work. Some people call it intarsia crochet. There are a couple of different methods for color work and crocheting, but they each have their own different technique that you use to create the picture on your piece. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to do tapestry crochet, which is usually done with just 2 strands of yarn. So in order to do tapestry crochet, usually people create charts which have row numbers on them that go all the way up. It will have a little picture, and what I would really recommend doing is you should mark which rows you're starting with and which rows you're ending with. And why you would do that is because each tapestry crochet pattern has a right side and then a wrong side, like you'll see here where all of my ends that I haven't weaved in are. And the picture looks almost exactly the same on the back when you do tapestry crochet. It's just a mirrored image. But if you have a certain side that you want to be on the front, it's really good to keep track of which side is the right side and the wrong side. So what I would really recommend doing is just putting an arrow right here. For the right side, the arrow will point to the left, and for the wrong side, the arrow will point to the right. And that way you can keep track of what is going on in your pattern and what row you are working on. So in order to create this coaster, I've already started here with doing the first 2 rows, which on the chart here, they are marked by a white space. So in order to keep going with this, I'm now working on the right side of the pattern. So I am going to be working from right to left. The right side always goes from right to left, and the wrong side always goes from left to right. So we are on the 3rd row, which is right here. So we are going to be doing 5 single crochets in white, and each block on this grid equals 1 crochet stitch. So what we're going to be doing is, since this pattern is kind of a hexagon, you're going to do 2 single crochets in this first stitch here because we're still doing the increased part, and then you'll be doing 2 stitches then, and now we are going to take our green yarn and we are going to start making this cactus. So in order to start working with the green yarn, you are actually going to, on your last stitch here, before this green right there, you are going to start your single crochet like normal. But then, instead of pulling your white yarn through these 2 loops, you are going to take your green yarn and pull it through them. Just like that. And then tighten that white yarn and pull that green yarn down. And now you're going to be working with the green yarn. So when you do tapestry crochet, what you are doing is you are carrying your yarn through your work. And so how you do that is you are crocheting around this white piece of yarn with your green yarn. This way you can carry this white yarn all the way to the other side where you will be using it to finish off this row once you've done these 5 green single crochets here. So what you'll do is you'll just do 5 single crochets, and you are going to be, you take your yarn and you're having it in between where you're going to yarn over. Going to take your hook, yarn over, let the yarn right there, and then you are going to single crochet over that. And so since we have this white yarn connected right here in this last row, you can't really see it being worked through, but if you just keep going across and finish those 5 stitches. Then on your last stitch before you end this, you're going to do that same thing you did when switching to the green, where you yarn over, and then you're going to take the white yarn instead of the green yarn to finish off that stitch. And then that way, so you can tell right here, you can't even tell that you switched yarns right here because it just goes super seamlessly through that. Then we're going to keep going like this, finish off this row with this white yarn. And since in this pattern the green stays in the middle, I am not going to carry the green yarn all the way to the end because I don't need it to go in the next part. But if you are doing this in the round, or you are doing this in a longer piece where you have like multiple cacti, then you will keep just carrying, then you'll start carrying the green yarn instead of the white yarn to keep going. So then we are just going to finish off this row with the white, and we'll end this row with 2 single crochets in this last stitch. Then we'll chain 1, turn it, do 2 single crochets in this one, and this is the last increase row that is in this cacti pattern. And we'll keep going till we get all the way to this last stitch, and then you'll see here on the back side is where these strands of green start. So if you are working flat or even in the round, your wrong side is always going to be where you will have your ends of your yarn. And the tapestry crochet, what it does is it helps eliminate that while you are working all the way up. Like on here, I still haven't weaved in my ends, but you'll see there are only 2 green ends because what I did is I carried the yarn using tapestry crochet all the way through the pattern till I got to the top, and that way I only have 2 green ends to weave in while I'm crocheting this whole piece. Helps save a bunch of time, and then by doing the tapestry crochet, it makes it look almost exactly the same as the front, and it gives it a nice clean look. So while you are doing this, now that we want to switch to the green, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white yarn, I'm going to move it to the front of my work, take this green yarn, move it to the back, and while I'm moving it to the back, I'm going to hook it and pull the yarn through these 2 loops. So now I have my green loop and I can pull the white one closed, just like that. And since I am only using 2 colors, I didn't carry the yarn all the way to the end just because I didn't need to with this pattern, but you'll see that there's this strand right here, but when you keep going, it ends up just blending right into the pattern. But you will want to keep carrying that yarn, this time having it in the front of your work, and then you will just keep single crocheting across like you did, but always having this strand of yarn in the front, the one that you're not working with, because we don't want to create any loops on the back, and this way the pattern looks exactly the same on both sides. So then when you get to this last part, you're just going to then go like this to switch the colors, and then you'll move the white yarn to the front and the green yarn to the back. And once I finish this green side, I'm gonna show you guys on here in the next right side row, the green yarn is 3 stitches over from where we end on the middle right here. So I don't want to have a big strand that goes from this point over to there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to carry the green yarn and over 3 stitches, so that then when I am crocheting the next row, then it makes it really easy and nice and clean. And then now that I'm 3 stitches over, I'm just going to leave this green yarn right here and finish the row with the 2 stitches at the end. And then we're going to chain 1, turn, single crochet 2, but on the last stitch, since this is 3 stitches from the middle, we're going to take our green yarn and loop it and switch yarn colors. Tighten that right there. And then you're gonna just single crochet and make sure that you keep that white yarn being carried in the back. Just hold it and go around it. And then you just keep crocheting across, and that is how you move the yarn over a few stitches. And so as you can see here, you can see the green yarn being carried through here, and with Tapestry Crochet that gives it a really cool texture when you carry colors through each other. But since it is so close to another green row, it makes it really almost non-noticeable. But this is a great way to help you so that you don't have a giant yarn strand going through the back right here. So just keep repeating those rows until you get to this row right here, where I'll show you how to do these quick little color changes when there's just one stitch in between 2 colors. So now that we have gotten to this row right here, which is row 7, I'm going to show you guys how to do a color change in Tapestry Crochet when there's just one stitch done in it. So here we've got our piece crocheted up to row 7. So we are going to chain 1 and turn it, and then single crochet 2 right here, and then we will switch to green on this last stitch just like I showed you guys before. And then we are going, then on here with the green, we're going to do 2 green stitches. So 1 and 2, and then on this last one we're going to switch to the white, back to the white. And then with this one, when you just have 1 stitch, you're going to basically just be doing the same thing that you do when you switch the green colors, but it's going to be starting out with this, yarning over, pulling through, so you get your 2 loops for your single crochet, and then you're going to finish the stitch right away with the green. So then you will have 1 white stitch, this 1 white stitch right here, and then you just continue over with the green stitches, just continuing to single crochet all the way across. So doing a color change where there's just 1 stitch is super easy. It might just seem it might take a little bit to get used to just switching the colors right away, but it is super simple once you get the hang of it. And that is essentially all the techniques that you need to know in order to crochet this cactus coaster and how to do tapestry crochet. Just remember to carry your yarn through as you're crocheting, as well as switching your yarn colors in the last part of the stitch that you're doing. You can do this with single crochets, half double crochets, or double crochets, really any stitch that you want. And I hope that this video tutorial was helpful for you, and stay tuned for a tutorial on how to do intarsia crochet. I can't wait to see what you guys make. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like it below if you enjoyed watching it, and hit the subscribe button if you never want to miss out a video from me, and also check out my other videos and tutorials on my channel. See you next time!